Hey everyone, Jean here with Rebel Yell Rising, and I wanted to say thank you all so much for the likes, the shares, the comments, and the subscribes. It really does mean a lot to me. I know you could be spending your time, watching something else or doing something else, but you're choosing to spend your time with me and watching these videos. It's not lost on me, so I really do appreciate it. Second, this is the 4th time I am doing the August readings. Spirit kind of has us on a scavenger hunt sometimes, and it took me a bit to get the right deck down and to kind of come up with this spread. Spirit was kind of nudging me to do this, and I was able to finally pull this out from nowhere. And I'll go into it in each of your guys' respective readings. And then third, I know many of you guys really enjoyed the Isis Oracle deck that I used in the July readings, and I was going to start out with that deck. However, the energy I feel is so different from July. It's much lighter, and I was shown almost like a 90-degree angle, right? Like we're going in a completely new and different direction. Not completely opposite, but different, new, better, right? It's as if we had been traveling like parallel, like to the earth. And then we are all of a sudden now taking a 90-degree turn up towards ascension, if you will. And the energy for August is much lighter, and I hope you guys can feel it. I know that there was many people going through a really rough time in July. I'm one of them. So I feel confident and optimistic that things are going to be much better, much easier. I feel like maybe there might be a little bit more clarity for each of us this month. I truly hope that's the case with you. And that even if things don't completely manifest in a different direction, I feel like you're going to recognize on a deeper level that the door is at least open for each of us to walk through to get to a brighter situation. Okay, and without further ado, I will get on to the reading for you guys. Hey Aries, so here we go. The first card for you is, what is the spiritual issue at hand for you in the month of August? We will be together again. So, actually, I think I got this card for you guys several times. So, if you're not familiar with the concept of your higher self, I know when I was starting out on this journey, I didn't. And it was hard to find someone who could kind of explain it really easily. But when you were born and you incarnated into human form, part of your soul stayed behind to kind of man the controls. And there's a giant airplane flying right above me. I hope you can hear me. So a part of your soul that remained up in heaven to kind of help navigate the waters is known as your higher self. And I'm sorry if I'm shaking that. Okay. So yeah, it's known as your higher self. And your higher self has like the roadmap of your life, some of your, all of your soul contracts, what you're supposed to be going through, some of the karmic situations you're supposed to be encountering. Okay, give me a second, please. So, if some of you guys have been kind of feeling like part of you is missing or something is missing, this is kind of confirmation and to let you know that you are going to be reunited with the other part of your soul that is missing. It's also to kind of confirm that you are part of the other side. You are part of heaven. While you're in your human existence, not all of you is down here, right? You are going to be... I feel like some of you guys might have been longing for home, in a sense. Longing for something. And that's what this card is speaking about. In the month of August, maybe there's going to be a sense that there's something more. If you're on a spiritual journey, and I imagine that you are if you're watching this video, even if it's not like consuming your entire life, and you know, we don't all decide to just up and become monks or nuns, but I feel like you've really started to understand that everything that happens in our day-to-day life, there's like a spiritual nexus. There's a spiritual connection. And this is just to... This is like an encouraging phone call. Oh my gosh, this is such a weird analogy, but it's almost like you feel like you're in jail and you just need to hear that voice of your loved ones at home, or you need to hear the voice of your loved ones, you know, that are in reality, you know, whereas you feel like you're in jail and you're stuck behind bars and you know this isn't life, you know it's not reality. So you call your mom or your dad or your child or your loved ones, right, to hear their voice, to get that fresh air, to get that dose of, you know, like that reality check that you need, that life isn't what you're currently experiencing. That's what this is. This is that phone call to you from heaven, telling you it's okay, you're gonna get through it, hang on. What you're going through it's not the reality. It's almost, if you guys ever watched that like 60 Days In show or something similar where people are, you know, incarcerated, that's not reality, right? But it becomes their reality because for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all they know are the inside of those walls. I mean, and the same thing can be said for anybody who's, you know, institutionalized, you know, like in a hospital for a long period of time, or, you know, going through, you know, any situation, even like a camp, right, where you're kind of cut off from the rest of the world. But you know that it's not reality. It's almost like a fake reality. It's staged. It's in a bubble. You're living in a fishbowl. Sorry for the airplanes again. And that you know it's not reality, but even though you know it's not reality, you can't help but, like, you have no choice but to exist and go through the motions. And I feel like, you know, you might start to feel depleted on the inside. This is just heaven. Your higher self, this is your soul talking to you, saying that, like, you're gonna be together again. Maybe you're gonna be getting messages from your higher self. Maybe, I feel like there's gonna be a bigger connection between you guys. Let's see what the rest of this reading is, okay? I'm gonna recap it, so go back over it again. But it's really kind of just like a phone call letting you know, hey, like, it's going to be okay. What you're experiencing right now isn't reality. All right, this is how you can best heal this on your day-to-day life. There is no time where I am. Time is only on the earth. So, the message that it's like you're, you know, I don't even want to say higher self. It's more like I just want to say, like, the message that your soul wants your brain to know, the message that is coming through is that time isn't as we experience it here on Earth. It's not from A to Z, right? It doesn't go A, B, C, D, E, F, G. It doesn't go down the line like that. It's really hard to explain because I'm not a scientist. But it's almost like, you know how they talk about like parallel universes, right? So consider like the concept of a parallel universe Well, it's almost like things that are occurring in that parallel universe are occurring at the same time as they are here, but there are also things that might have happened in the past. And that's kind of how time works. I hope that made some sort of sense. But it's, your soul wants you to know that time, you are not restricted by time. Time doesn't have an impact or an effect on you. On our earthly journey, yes, and it feels like it, but that's part of the illusion. Because your soul is so much bigger than your body, your human body. And knowing that, okay, so this is what information has been given to you to help you heal, right? Knowing that God, Source, the universe, angels, spirits, and spirit guides, they are not restricted by time in the way that we are, right? We physically are restricted by time. Our souls aren't, but us as humans, we physically are. And that's just part of the reality of living a human existence. But they are not. And they can be with you through time and space. And they can get to your loved ones through time and space. And they can help affect change to any of your issues, your concerns, causes that you're fighting for, causes that you're trying to shed light on. Knowing that it's kind of trying to help you not to be doubtful or skeptical, if you will. It's about knowing that it is possible, despite our perception of time. Okay, let's keep going with this reading. Alright. Sorry. Oops, sorry for that. And then this next card is the outcome. It's really just a realization that where you are right now is beautiful. And that you might feel... Okay, so this position is the gift or the outcome, right? And I'm going to read this as this is the gift for you for the month of August. Aries, I know you guys have been going through some really crappy stuff in July. Stuff that's probably been going on for months or years, but you know, it's probably been kind of coming to a head or even maybe getting worse. The gift is to know that where you currently are is beautiful. Despite the human heaviness, despite the human ramifications that you have to deal with on your daily life, your soul wants you to know and to remember that you might feel like you're getting beaten up by a hurricane, but where you are is like the eye of the hurricane. It's, you know, it's all, imagine yourself standing in the middle of a tornado or a hurricane. And guys, this is just my analogy, so please, if you're a scientist or meteorologist, please don't be nitpicky about this. Imagine you're standing in the eye of the hurricane or in the middle of that tornado, right? If you can imagine that all the stuff that's swirling around, like, you know, a tornado is picking up a cow and a truck, and that's swirling around, right? And you're in the middle of that. Try not to see that those things are hitting you, that they are coming at you, and that they are happening to you. See that you are standing in the middle of it and that they are occurring around you. That standing in the middle of that hurricane, those winds and rains are swirling around you. And that hurricane is not, in fact, pounding you directly, right? You are not that hurricane isn't trying to drown you. That hurricane isn't trying to batter you with those gale force winds. But because they are occurring around you, you are still going to feel the gale force winds beating you up, if that makes sense. And the gift to you is this kind of epiphany, a realization, a different perspective, that if you can see things like that, if you can see all that crap that's floating around you, like going through a court case, right? Maybe you're involved in legal issues. Maybe you are, you know, sitting at your desk and you're looking at like the foreclosure notice and the credit cards going into collection and bill collectors are calling you. But if you could see yourself centered in the middle of that hurricane and see that all that stuff is occurring around you, it's not part of you, it's not you, and it's not the reality of where you actually are. It's not the reality of what your soul is or your soul is experiencing, right? Where your soul is, it's peaceful. And if you can kind of take a step back and detach, you will have a lot more peace in realizing I am not actually a part of that disaster. I am not a part of that hazard. I am not in the hurricane. I'm not part of the hurricane. I'm not swept up by the tornado, but it is occurring around me. And that is the gift that your soul wants you to know, that you are in the middle of it, and it is beautiful because it is a perspective where you can see the chaos occurring around you without letting yourself get caught up in the winds of the tornado itself. And that is truly a beautiful gift. Okay, this next one is how you can, like an opportunity to help you get through this. I always give you a good night kiss. As we go to sleep, give me a second please, I just want to make sure I'm getting this message right. You know, I just got that image of, what is it in Peter Pan? I think it's Wendy, that as she's sleeping, Peter comes in and gives her a kiss, right? And it's not a romantic kiss. It's I don't know, it's just a gesture, it's affection, it's more that there's a connection, right? I really just feel that it's a connection. So, if you've been having a lot of dreams, or you've been feeling anxious or waking up because you've got so much on your mind. Sorry guys, I'm trying to actually just keep this steady, but I'm having a hard time. Give me a sec. Let me do that. If you feel like, you know, you have a hard time at night putting all your worries and stuff away, or maybe you even have a hard time deciding to go to bed because you're like, oh, I gotta work on this. I can't leave this for tomorrow, you know. The lawyers need this, or if I wait till tomorrow, something negative will occur, or, you know, I'm not putting in all my effort if I don't do this right now. This is your soul, your higher self wanting to let you know that even when you're sleeping, you're not alone. You are, not only are you with your angels with you, your guardian angels with you, your higher self that knows what's best for you, your soul that is so divine, so full of... whereas your human body physically is made up of human parts, and your human brain can only comprehend, we can only comprehend so much. What is it? We only use 10% of our brains, right? Your soul is not the same, clearly. Your soul is, like, every particle of your soul is still carrying memories from the other side. It's still carrying its experiences from past lives. Your soul is still very, very, very much connected to the other side. And there's that, like, strand that is connecting you to the divine, your higher self, but we physically don't remember it, we physically don't feel it, but your soul does. And your soul, your higher self, wants you to know that you're not alone and that you can rest easy. It's like, give your problems over to... It's almost like you're split in half, right? And your human side is taking care of the day-to-day affairs. Let your soul and your higher self take care of the problems while you're sleeping, right? It's like a day shift and a night shift. Hand it over to them. Say, all right, guys, shift change. This is what happened today. This is what's going on. This is what needs to be worked out. I'm going to sleep. Physical body needs to go to bed and rest. I'm handing this over to you guys as night shift to continue working on. And they will. They are, because it's you, and they know what's best for you, right? So that's the opportunity that you have to really connect with your higher self, connect with your soul, more like be more in tune with your soul. And that will help you understand and recognize a lot more of the physical world around you, as well as getting through these problems, these perceived problems and issues that our human body is currently existing and our human body is currently having to get through. And you guys actually got 2 cards for this last placement in this spread, and it is special guidance from your guides and higher self. So let's see. Oh my gosh. I am with the rest of the family, and I am standing right next to you. So I feel like that just really rounds it out. So I'm going to do the right card first. I am standing right next to you. Not me. Just a little joke. So, like I said, I am reading this. I was guided to read this as if the I is actually coming from yourself. So, your higher self, your soul is always with you, right? But if there's somebody who has been grieving or trying to contact or get messages from a loved one that is departed, I'm feeling strongly that that's the message that is coming through. That they're with you. They're right next to you. Let me give you guys a little example. Let me just do that so it's a little easier to focus on this. Ever since I was a little kid, this is probably going to sound really weird, I always talked out loud to myself. Although I didn't realize I wasn't really talking to myself. Ever since I was a little kid, I always felt like someone was there. I always felt like someone was watching me, right? So even, you know, if I was like, if I picked a wedgie, or, you know, I tripped, or I did something goofy, I would say, don't judge me, you know, in a comical way. But then it was like, who am I saying that to? It wasn't until I really started to learn more about this spiritual stuff that I realized that ever since I was little, it was my guides and angels that I felt the presence of. I still do, you know, and I talk out loud to them all the time. I feel them. I feel their presence. You know what it's like when you're in a room by yourself, and then you know what it's like when somebody enters that room, right? You feel that energy. It's the same thing. I have always felt presence, energy. And that's what this is trying to let you know. You might not physically see them. Maybe some of you guys do. In general, as a collective, our intuition and psychic senses and abilities are really opening up, and that's everybody. So if you've been feeling a presence near you and you're like, oh gosh, it really feels like, you know, mom or dad, or I don't even know, it just feels like a presence. It is a presence. It is a loved one. It's your guide. It's your angel. You know, I mean, for everybody, your guardian angel's always with you. They're never gone. You know, certain guides come with us, come in and out, you know, depending on what's going on in our lives, depending on the day of the week. So yeah, they're always with you. And you know, the really funny thing is, if you guys ever seen that movie Paranormal Norman, or is it Paranorman? It's a kid's movie. It's a kind of a cartoon. But when I watched that, my mouth dropped, because it's almost like literally exactly how it is. There are spirits and guides and angels all around us 24/7. You just don't see them. So this is just letting you know. Talk to them. They can hear you. And I am with the rest of the family. Again, this really feels like this is a specific message for somebody. If you guys have been, if you've gone through loss recently, or even have been having a rough time, because so many of us are taught through our religions that when we die, you know, there's heaven or hell or purgatory, and I absolutely hate that. It's almost like a pet peeve, right? That it's kind of used as a way to, hey, you know, you better behave or you're gonna go to hell, or you have to say this many prayers to get so-and-so out of purgatory. And it's through no fault of the individual humans that actually truly believe that. But it's almost, it's damaging is what it is. It's very damaging. So what this is saying, and what I want you guys to know, is that when your loved ones pass on, this is where they go. They're with the rest of your family. Any hell, any purgatory is self-inflicted judgment. That's all. And as humans, we kind of think, oh, really? That's it? But our souls are so much more intense. Our souls, the whole purpose of our soul's existence, right? The whole reason the divine gave us souls and brought us down here is to evolve. You know, there's a reason. We came down here with a mission, and we know that, and we want to live up to it. Maybe not in our human brains, but our souls. And for those of us that, you know, lose the way, or, you know, don't live up to our soul's expectation, when we get back up to the other side, that self-judgment, that judgment feels like purgatory and hell. So if you're concerned about a loved one that's passed, don't be. In spirit, if you think about them, talk to them, they're right next to you. And up in the other side, the family reunion. So that is the special guidance for you for August. And also, again, this is coming from your higher self. know that when you pass, you also will have the ability to assist and be with your loved ones, and you also will be joining your loved ones. No ifs, ands, or buts. Okay, let's do a really quick recap here, Aries. Just looking at this overall spread to you guys, it is like super, super spiritual. I mean, last month, the July one was spiritual, but it was really about how to get through the physical, right? Human existence and manifestation. This is, I feel like, more of the actual kind of just a lesson. Something they just, your higher self really just wanted you to know. Your spiritual issue is to know that you are of God. You are part of the divine. You are an extension of him, her, the God, goddess, right? Because there's no gender in our creator. There's feminine and masculine energy in everything. And that when you die, you are going to basically return to where you came from, even though it sounds kind of like an alien, but your soul will return from where it came from. And not only is that just for you to know, because a lot of people have some inclination of, you know, that sort of a belief, but it's more along the lines of knowing that you're not separated. And then how you can best heal that, again, there's no time as we experience it. Your soul's fully capable of, what is it, astral projection? Time, it's an illusion. Your gift is to know that where you are in your life right now is beautiful. Even with all the craziness that's occurring around you, even with everything that is occurring in the world, it's not occurring to you or happening to you or occurring at you. It's occurring around you, and you're a spectator. You're a witness. You're viewing it. You're viewing the craziness. And the opportunity is there for you to reach out to your higher self, to know that they're all the angelic and heavenly beings are with you, and that you can hand over your worries to the night shift of your higher self. And the special guidance, know that your higher self actually is up there with the rest of your family, because that soul part of you is still there. And your guides, your higher self, your loved ones in spirit are always next to you. All you have to do is think about them. Talk to them. All right, Aries. Please feel free to let me know how you enjoyed this video. I hope it brings you a lot of lighter energy, a lot of lightness. And if there's something that you need clarified, just feel free to drop a comment below. I hope you guys have a beautiful month. Bye.